Welcome to the English Language Institute of Singapore's podcast. I'm your host, Victoria.
And I'm your other host, Alison.
This is the second of a 4-part series about Mrs Adeline Teo, Madam Ko Ting Ting, and Madam Irene Leong's Classroom Inquiry project.
In the first part, we learned how Adeline and her team started on their inquiry project, what motivated them, what research literature they looked at, and what their research question was, and how they designed a pedagogical intervention to address the research question.
Our research question was, what is the effect of guided journaling on reluctant writers' attitude towards writing?
This is a very focused research question indeed. Next, Adeline will describe the participants of their study and the kinds of data she collected.
Who were the participants of our study? I worked with 2 other colleagues on this project, so there were 3 teacher investigators. We conducted the intervention with our own classes. As we wanted to target reluctant writers, we selected a group of 32 students from our own primary 1, 2, and 3 classes. These students were selected based on their responses in a pre-intervention survey about their feelings towards writing. These were students who reported feeling stressed, anxious, frustrated, or lost when it came to writing. What data did we collect? Altogether, we collected and relied on 3 sets of data to answer our research questions. Firstly, we designed a pre- and post-intervention survey in order to capture students' attitude towards writing before and after the intervention. We asked students to answer prompts such as, "Do you love to write? Writing makes me feel," and offer them response options such as yes, no, sometimes, or happy, sad, stressed. Students were guided through the survey to select the most appropriate option that described their feelings towards writing. Secondly, we collected all the writing of the students during the intervention, counted the words in them, and calculated the average word count of their writing. We had also recorded the word count of a piece of their writing before the intervention. Doing this allowed us to compare the length of the writing for each student before and after the intervention. Finally, we relied on our observations of student behavior in order to identify changes in their behavioral or attitudinal responses towards writing both before, during, and at the end of the unit.
Adeline here talks about having a pre- and post-intervention survey. Tell me, Alison, is that needed for all classroom inquiries?
It really depends on the type of study. In this case, the surveys help the teachers understand the impact of their intervention. In addition to the survey, the teachers also use the observations and the students' writing to determine the effects of their intervention. Essentially, teachers need to think about how they would measure impact and learning outcomes and decide on the most appropriate data to collect and analyze.
I see. Thanks, Alison. All right, let's listen to how they analyzed their data.
How did we analyze our data? For the survey data, we compared their pre- and post-survey responses to questions about their self-efficacy and attitude towards writing. For the word count of their writing, we calculated the average word count of their writing before and during the intervention and compared the 2 numbers. The results of the survey analysis and word count numbers were triangulated with the teacher's observations of student behavior throughout the unit. During each lesson, the teachers noted students' attitude towards writing, their enthusiasm towards certain topics, and looked out for signs of anxiety as well as shifts in their level of confidence. The 3 of us then conducted several meetings to collate, categorize, and make sense of the data. For the survey data, we used an Excel worksheet to organize the results. This allowed us to compare more easily the students' responses across both surveys. We also color-coded the data.
Very systematic indeed. All right, that brings us to the end of this second part of this 4-episode inquiry walkthrough. A link to their full research report can be found in this episode's show notes, located at go.gov.sg/ELIS podcast. I'm your host, Victoria.
And I'm your co-host, Allison.
Thank you for listening.